Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And I'm Tommy.
And he's Tommy too.
Yeah, he is.
Today we're reviewing Married at First Sight, season 15, episode 7. The episode's titled Real Life Reckoning. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we upload a video. Let's start with Lindy and Miguel. How does it feel to you?
Better.
All right. It feels better.
It feels better.
All right.
By the way, this is the second time for us attempting
Third? Yes.
Attempting to record this episode. So let's do it.
Okay. So Lindy and Miguel open up talking about future arguments, and Miguel immediately brings up decision day. Lindy tells him that that's triggering for her, and she's stressed thinking about her marriage having a timeline, because who gets married to have a timeline of marriage?
Nobody does.
Basically, she's just like, dude, this is triggering. Stop it.
Right. I don't get why that's the first thing he wants to talk about now. You know what I'm saying?
The first thing he wanted to talk about was getting the butt.
Well, I'm just talking about, like, he's spending so much time thinking about decision day. It's like, actually get to know her so you can know if you want to make this, like, what decision you want to make.
Mm-hmm.
Because talking about decision day, we know it's coming in 8 weeks. Spend the first 6 weeks getting to know her. The last 2, trying to figure out, okay, I got to make a decision, you know.
Well, even still, during those 8 weeks, you're going to know what your decision is going to be.
Yeah.
So there's really not a lot of need to spend talking about the decision day. Most of it, instead of talking about the decision day, you should just get to decision day.
Right.
Like, it's really that simple to just live life and go to decision day. But I think that production puts a lot of weight on decision day as a topic instead of just, hey, we know that there's 8 weeks to this. Let's get through these 8 weeks.
Right.
Lindy says she found out that she snores from Miguel. And he was like, nah, you was snoring in Mexico too. So this is the episode where they go visit each other's apartments. They visit Miguel's first. She gags at the fact that he has a jar of bacon grease.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's never been in a Southern Black household.
I was like, my grandmama used to have like a Jiffy jar
full
of bacon grease.
I can't tell you the countless number of jars of bacon grease that was at my grandma's house. He goes and shows her all of his Dungeons and Dragons books. And he said that these are his Bibles. And she keeps telling him that that's coming off as sacrilegious. Mm-hmm. And I feel like at this point, he's just doing stuff just to see if it can get under her skin enough.
Right. How religious are you?
Right. Then he tells her he has to go to the restroom while she's looking, I think in like his closet or something. And he comes out in his bear man costume and says that it's his alter ego.
You know, he trying to do some cosplay in that.
I was like, okay. We didn't go to Lindy's house, did we? I don't remember Lindy's apartment at all. I don't have any notes about her apartment.
Yeah. I don't either.
So I'm taking it she must live with like family or something, or roommates, and roommate is like, nah.
Yeah.
Cameras ain't coming in here. So then we fast forward to them making dinner. Miguel came home with some flowers and they had dinner together. He then says that they're going to rebrand Decision Day and call it Vow Renewal Day. Yeah. She said that makes her feel more comfortable, which you should think of it that way, as like, we're agreeing to do this together going forward. So it's not necessarily renewing the vows, but it's like, hey, this is what we're gonna do.
Right.
So Pastor Cal comes by this episode. I'm trying to get this baby out of the mic. Pastor Cal comes by this episode and talks to everyone. And he talked about Lindy's willingness to make a relationship work with just about anybody. Miguel said that he could give his everything to anybody for 8 weeks. And I'm like, that's where the problem lies. Because you're like, I can pretend to be a great guy for 8 weeks and do this. And then on decision day, I'm going to hit you with the okie doke.
That's why I'm like kind of questioning Miguel's reasoning for doing this. Just because he's so focused, laser focused on this 8 weeks when most of the people are coming in thinking this is going to be my forever. Now, Married at First Sight's track record is not that great. Not great, but you know, you want to be optimistic about the outcome. But his focus so much on making it through the 8 weeks, making it through the 8 weeks, making it through the 8 weeks. It's like, what happens after the 8 weeks? You know,
he bows out.
Right. That's why I feel like he's setting her up to crash hard. You know, and it's kind of like, it's terrible for him to do that because she's like really into him. You know, she asked him to not basically tell her all the bad things.
Right. And he was like, I can't censor myself. Like, I censor myself and then I become emotionally unavailable and then I bow out. And I'm like, is that what you do at the 3 month mark? Because you said you bow out of every relationship around 3 months. So you censor yourself for 3 months and then you like, this isn't going to work. So you've never been your full authentic self with anybody.
And that's the thing. It's like Pastor Kyle told him, man, it's you can't dwell on the one thing that you don't like.
Right.
Versus the 50 things that you do like. But you carry on, you cling on to that one thing until it just ruins it for you. You have to be able to let that go. And, you know, what she's asking him to do is basically not be so harsh to her. Like, I don't get how he couldn't see how what she was asking wasn't like so bad.
Right.
You know, she was just asking you not to say all the bad things that you think of. Like, she brushes her teeth and she shakes her head.
Did somebody say that?
Lindsay and from the last episode. Mark. I was like, that's so stupid. But
right.
And then it's
either
like
the toothbrush is moving or your head is moving.
Right.
Pick one.
But it's like, just using that for an example, it's like you don't have to tell a person that because it's like they're still brushing their teeth. You know, if it bothers you, just don't brush your teeth with them. Or
go in the bathroom while they're brushing their teeth.
Right. So it's like...
You and I never end up in the bathroom brushing our teeth together.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Right. Let me go do something else.
Right. I don't have anything else for them. Just...
I think Miguel is like really setting her up for failure.
I always hate it when somebody who's willing to like be all in gets put with someone who's like, yeah, I got conditions.
I wrote, they were talking about the feelings of love and how easy you can be out of the feeling. Who said that? Was that sounded like something Miguel said?
Gotta be him. I didn't write that down.
I get what he was trying to say. Or I get what he was saying. But it's like, remove love from the table, right? Right now, this is week 2, 11 days in. Remove love from the table, right? What you got? You know, you just got this person here that you recently had sex with and probably still is having sex with at this point.
The way they were talking about how beautiful it was, they still doing it.
Yeah. So...
And I don't know anyone who would describe the first time they have sex with the person as beautiful.
I don't either. I don't either. But
it's not in my vocabulary.
That's funny. But it's like, just focus on the person. Focus on the person in front of you. Just because you're still getting to learn this person. You're still getting to know this person and how this person deals with everyday life, in and out, relationships and stuff like that. So you don't even know how this person truly interacts with their family.
Right.
At this point. But
or the general public.
Right. So the feeling of love grows with the action of getting to know this person. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Okay.
Quote it.
Oh, okay. Up next, Stacia and Nate is who
Let's
I have.
Talk about it.
So Stacia, they get to the neutral apartment, and the first thing Stacia sees is that there's only one sink in the bathroom. And she was like, "You can have a drawer." And he's like, "How's that fair?" And I'm like, "How many products do you have, Nate?"
He probably has a lot.
He probably does. And I'm like, everybody needs a drawer then. And nobody's stuff can be on the sink.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, that's not going to work.
It's not, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So they start off with a few of Stacia's rules. Like even before the sink thing, they opened up with her saying no shoes in the house. And then they lay down in bed together, and which I was shocked about because like they got in the bed with outside clothes on, because that seems like that's a Stacia no-no.
Yeah. She was cringing while they was doing it.
Right. And they were talking about the level of cleanliness that they're going to have to keep the house. And, that includes the shoes off, showers before getting in the bed, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada.
Leaving the toilet seat up.
Yes, I forgot about that one. Leaving the toilet seat up.
I don't understand that one, because I don't have to, sit on the toilet when I pee.
But you also don't leave the toilet seat up ever.
I know.
Like
I got that from like I have a fear of a child throwing something in the toilet.
Oh, okay.
And so
you did it before we had kids.
I know. I mean, I had nieces and stuff, so it's like I have that fear. Like that's always been a fear of mine. Like, nope, you ain't gonna catch me. So I put the toilet seat down. And then I heard like different things about like diseases and stuff come out the toilet. So like the ones that, like I've seen videos where like snakes be in the toilet. That freaks me out. But
they still gonna be there.
It does.
I'm saying, but if they're in the toilet, they're still gonna be there when you lift it up.
I know. But it's like, anyway, when she said that, I was like, does she not look at the toilet to see this? It's up?
It's a middle of the night thing.
You still got to see it.
No, but it's a middle of the night thing. Like you don't understand because you don't sit down to pee.
Yeah.
But it's a middle of the night thing for me anyways.
You fell in the toilet before?
I have.
Did you laugh?
No.
That is hilarious.
It wasn't funny.
That is hilarious.
But that was like obviously before living with you.
Yeah.
Or living alone, because living alone I didn't have to.
You left the toilet seat where you needed it.
Yeah, like who's lifting the seat up when you live by yourself if you're not a man?
I live by myself and still let the toilet seat down.
Because that's what you do. That's your thing. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
people let the toilet seat down.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like you go in the bathroom in the middle of the night, you don't look at the seat, you sit down, you're like, oh God, I'm falling in. Like I never hit the water or anything, but it's like, oh my God, why is the seat not down? Who did this? So I get it.
I don't, man. Just look.
I get it. So the next morning, Stacia gets up and she's like, the toilet seat is up. We're going to have to talk about this. I'm like, girl, pick and choose your battles.
Man, okay. But Nate said something that I was like, that's going to hinder him from being like his full self.
What's that?
Is that she has so many rules and has been vocal about all the rules just for him to live. And he's like, I got to hit a list of things. I'm going to mess something up. I'm going to be, like walking on eggshells in his own home because he don't want to not do the rules until he gets to a point to where he's like,
she's going to have to deal with these.
Man, F these rules,
It's always going to be something that one person has an issue with that the other one doesn't care about. Like an example for us is water.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Like Tommy is okay with room temperature water. I want my water cold.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get really, really upset with him because he would drink all the cold water and wouldn't put any back. At some point, he started putting it back.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things. Like you adapt and adjust.
Yeah.
But they
Would you say I do that well?
You're better
than you
at adapting.
And
yes,
adjusting.
I am awful.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yep.
So they visit Stasia's apartment first. He was like, this apartment doesn't look lived in. He
said, did you stage this?
He was like, she staged her bed, and I don't think she staged her bed, but I think that she's very much so about appearances for like if somebody comes over. And like she also knew that there was going to be a camera crew coming to her house. So why wouldn't she like get that together?
I think she like it's just a simple thing. I get like she lives by herself, so it's much easier to keep your house clean and she has a beautiful house too, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's much easier to keep your house clean and keep things tidied up and stuff like that with nobody there but you. But the idea that she made her bed up and puts this little thing at the back of it, at the bottom of it every day for decoration. I'm like, who you decorating for?
Herself.
So it's I get it, I get the part of, oh, okay, you keep a clean house, but then I think it's weird that you go the extra mile because I wouldn't have that many pillows on my bed.
Do you know the excessive number of pillows we currently have on our bed?
Right. It's only because you put them there. Like I would have 2 pillows, one for me, one for you.
But even still, like we don't even have an obsessive number of like decorative pillows. These are all sleeping pillows. Yeah. And our decorative pillows live on the dresser.
Yeah. But it's like, the only thing I thought about when I saw her house was you want kids. Your house is going to be like, you're going to have to back up on some of that cleanliness.
I think Stacia has a, what I like to call a YouTube house.
Yeah. She can like film in every room.
No. I don't even mean about the filming thing. I mean, like she has a house that's like, let me show you how to have a spectacular looking bedroom. Like you can build your bedroom in 7 easy steps.
Yeah.
Here's how you design the tray that goes at the foot of your bed.
We obviously know what you watch on YouTube.
Obviously. But like that's the kind of house that she has.
Yeah.
Like 10 must-haves on YouTube on Amazon for your bedroom.
That's
like
hilarious.
Her bedroom looks like that.
I should do a video like that.
You should. Go for it. It'll be fun. It'll be a nice parody.
It will be hilarious, man.
But that's literally what I feel like her house looks like.
Man, the funniest part about the house visit was when she said she want an espresso coffee maker.
Mm-hmm. $700.
$700. And she was trying to like justify the price for it.
I mean, okay, so if she indeed goes to like Starbucks, the price is justified. If she goes to Starbucks every single day.
I'm just saying, but what's so special about this $700?
She can afford it. I don't even care about it being $700.
I can like when I said that, I said Nate bet I say, oh, okay, yeah.
My thought process is if she's buying Starbucks every day, okay, $700, cool. It offsets the cost. What they did not factor into it was like the price of these expensive coffee pods because Nespresso coffee pods are not cheap. Second thing that I have a question for is you have a Keurig. Why are you going to buying a $6 coffee every day?
I'd never thought about that, but you're absolutely right.
You have a coffee maker.
Right.
Why are you going out to purchase coffee? That's the part that bothers me.
And then again, I'm not a coffee drinker like that, so I don't know like what it is or, what helps it or what doesn't help it. But I just thought about like the things I would spend my money on.
Let's not go there because you had us buy a Keurig.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I had one before you, didn't I?
What, a Keurig?
Yeah.
No, we bought the first Keurig together.
Let me tell you how basic I am. When we first got together, I had a dishwasher and had never used it.
And I was like, I don't understand.
And the funny part about it was I didn't know how to use it, so I assumed it was broken. Because it didn't, I pushed the button, the on button, and it didn't cut on. And
that's awful.
I had never had a dishwasher, so it was like, all right. Well,
that is awful.
You know, it is what it is. Anyway.
But yeah, I would be more willing to justify the $700 price if you did not have a coffee maker, but you have one that you're not using. You know, and it's just like that just don't
the funny thing,
make sense to me.
I'll be like, man, I'm finna go buy me a helicopter. A helicopter drone. For what? I don't know. I want one. That's what that is.
But this is actually useful.
Yeah. I mean, like a helicopter drone is useful for videos.
Anywho, so after they leave her apartment, they go to Nate's apartment. She says it's cute, but that his closet is disorganized. First off, when I looked at his closet, I was like, are there clothes in there? Because I'm missing the disorganization. Maybe it was in the shadows and they didn't want us to see. And then she starts inspecting everything like she worked for the health department.
Did that not bother you?
So I've never had to have a space that I live in scrutinized by another person like that, first off. But secondly, he had some trifling things in there.
Yes. Yes.
But don't come in my house, opening my cabinets, throwing things on my floor.
I wanted the camera
go
people,
find a trash can.
I wanted the camera people to be like, throw it on the floor.
I don't know. But I would be like, that's really disrespectful. Don't do that. Because like you could gather my things that need to be thrown out and put them on the counter and then we can collectively put them in a trash bag.
Well, the reason why I say that is because first off, if you came to my house, I understand that they're married, but you know, they've known
it's still my house.
Right. If you came to my house and your job is to go through my stuff, right? Just look at it, give me your honest opinion about it. And you see that I have, which I don't understand why he had this, like in the cabinet. The oatmeal, empty things of oatmeal.
Just throw it away.
Just throw that away. Be like, hey, I'm going to throw this stuff away unless you need it.
Literally, the first question would be, are you keeping these for a reason?
Yeah.
Let's throw these away.
Let's throw these away right now because they go in the trash.
Right. There's 4 of them. Like, if you had a project that you were doing with them and you were like, I'm collecting them, I'm going to ask you a few questions about the project. Right.
Because that's different.
Right. But I just finished the oatmeal and put the container back.
That's trifling.
Nah, dog. Like, let's throw this away.
It's like leaving a little small thing of juice. Just drink that.
I literally will drink down the juice that's in my cup to put the last little bit in there so that I don't put a small amount of juice in the refrigerator. I
used to, and I was trifling like this. I would used to like fill my cup of juice. This is when I lived at home. And if it's a little bit left, I'll leave it in there because I ain't want to be the person to be the last one to drink the rest of it.
I never wanted to be the one to drink the last of the Kool-Aid. Because whoever drank the last of the Kool-Aid had to make the next picture. Yeah. So I would leave enough for the next person to get like half a glass. Yeah. So I wouldn't have to make it. My brother made better Kool-Aid than me.
That's hilarious, man. But the wine glasses is what bothered me the most about his apartment. Because I was like, dude, why is there wine glasses with dried up wine at the bottom of them in your cabinet as if these are clean glasses? I would immediately go buy paper products for him.
I'm like, y'all don't have, not y'all, but you don't have like gnats or anything because they flock to stuff like that.
Yeah. One, she put it back in the cabinet too.
That would have definitely went in the sink with some dishwashing liquid in it.
I just put some water in it and soak. Let it get its thing out.
Well, he said that was at least 5 months old.
Yeah.
At least. It needed to soak.
I mean, like, he had a dishwasher, I'm pretty sure. Like, get that thing to loosen up.
That's why I made the dishwashing liquid.
Out of the thing and put it in the dishwasher. Or throw them away.
That probably was Stasia's thing.
But for the 4 things that he had in his cabinet, I don't think throwing away those wine glasses would have been smart. Like, it's funny because I understand, like, the bachelor life and, like, how you don't. I had 2 plates.
You did.
2 cups. I never had food.
You did not.
And I had the
I used to laugh because you would buy that bag of chicken breasts and be like, this is the week.
Right. And I had the
like, there's no variety in your meals.
That you get from Walmart. They give you 4 of everything. I had that. I was like, man, I'm good.
At least you didn't keep empty oatmeal containers in your cabinet. You threw stuff away.
Yeah.
So Pastor Cal comes by for a visit, and they basically say they want to get on the same page and create generational wealth. They talk about money and kids. Apparently, Stacia makes about $415,000 annually. Nate makes about $150,000 annually. He says he don't want to have kids until he's hitting $250,000.
When he said that, I was like, Nate don't want to have kids because he's having fun right now.
And
kids ain't been a thing that he thought about too much. He probably said, yeah, eventually I want to have kids, but like not today.
You've gotten about, like you yourself personally, have basically doubled your income since you started having kids, right?
Yeah.
You never feel like you have enough money to have kids, ever.
That was a conversation we had when we first decided to have Lily. Was like, we were talking about if we were ready, and I was like, I don't think we'll ever be ready. Like, oh, we got everything prepared and we're like completely 100% ready to have children, because it takes so long to build any type of wealth. And people look at a dollar amount when they say, hey, I'm not ready for kids, like Nate
Nate is saying $250,000.
Yeah, but it's, if like, you're ready for kids if you're ready to take on that responsibility as far as like mental capacity for it.
And I don't honestly think you ever have the mental capacity for it. You have to build it.
Right. It's like a muscle.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing with the finances, yeah, you want to make sure that your finances are in order. You know, you don't want to be out here struggling to pay for things and then add another bill onto it, essentially. But financially being ready for a child, I don't, and you guys may know something better than I do, but I don't think you're 100% ready unless you know, are rich and wealthy.
And even then, there's other factors.
Right. But it's like more of us as human beings aren't in the top 1% or the top 10%.
But we are the ones that are populating the earth.
Right.
So
it's like you have to have children, but you know, it's get to a comfortable level in your finances, but get to a mental capacity that you're like, hey, I'm ready to take on this. And that be the way that you decide to have children. Like, they're in an accelerated system now because Stacia is 37 and she's like, my time is ticking. And he's like, but I still want to get to know you.
And I get it. Like, you're like, I don't want to be 45 trying to have a baby.
Yeah.
But he's also like, mine gonna work a lot longer than yours are. So
that's the thing. That's the selfish thing of a man, I think, is like thinking about that is like, we can have children up until the day we die.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, for women, that's not the case. And so
right.
Just an understanding
Thank God
of that.
it's not the case, because pregnant at 35 was hard. Like, don't try to have me pregnant at 52. No.
Yeah, that'll be tough. But you know, it's been some that has been.
Artieka, don't want to do that.
Nah, I get you. What else did they talk about?
She says that they talk about love and why they haven't had sex yet. She says she wants to be in love and not have it feel transactional. And I could see that because she says that she's never made time for dating. This wasn't in that conversation, but just talking about things she said. She says she's never made time for dating. So in the words of Tommy, if you're trying to get your rocks off, it is transactional.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with love.
Right.
And so she's like, if I'm married, I would like for my marriage to feel like I am not just scratching an itch, but that this is something that I want to do with this person.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I completely understand that. I'm happy that he is not, or at least not on camera, he's not a Miguel.
Yeah.
He's definitely like, I want to build a foundation and all these other buzzwords that we all like to say. Yeah.
But I think his approach to her has been a lot of, yes, okay, we can do that. We can do that. Yes. And not a lot of this is what I want type of thing. Because I don't think he knows how to, like, he's still filling her out a little bit. Mm-hmm. You know, just because it's like she is she is like knows a lot more about herself as far as like the things that she likes and stuff like that. And he's been so by himself, like single. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of I'm fluid in a lot of ways, you know, so I can adjust and adapt. But you give me too many rules, it's kind of like the sticker price thing, the shock value of it. I think he's going through that at this point.
Right.
At the end of their like scenes or whatnot, they were talking about, like, she brought it up to Pastor Kyle. He's not open enough with her.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't tell her like the backstory, the whys of everything.
Yeah.
Which I get. Like, she brought up his mom and he's like, there's really nothing to talk about there. And I'm like, there is so much to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. How do you feel about not having had your mom in your life? Do you feel like, I don't know if he had a stepmom, but did you feel like your stepmom filled the void of not having a mom?
Right.
Like, what was your mom's reason? There's so many questions.
So many questions that need answers.
And tell me how you feel about them. Mm-hmm. And I know they've not discussed even half of this because they've only known each other for a week and a half. Like, there hasn't been enough time to discuss all of that.
Right.
So I definitely get it. Like, we've learned a lot about her and her daddy issues. He got mama issues and she needs to learn about them. She needs to figure out if anything that she's doing is triggering those.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It was like he doesn't. I was like, I don't see how you don't see what she's wanting to know. And I'm like, Stacia just needs to ask, you know, straight up what like the things that she wants to know. But obviously she wants to have the conversation. And he was like, no, there's nothing there, you know, and just nonchalantly was like, if it comes up, I'll tell you, you know. But he never had to, it doesn't seem like he had to have a deep conversation with a person that he's in a relationship with. I can't say he hasn't had a deep conversation with anybody before, but, you know, it's just, she's trying to figure it, like.
He might be a person who has, like, dated his friends.
I can see that.
And when, I'll use us as an example. It's a lot easier to be vulnerable with a person that you've known as a friend than to just jump right into that with someone that you're meeting on a romantic level.
Yeah.
So then when things switch gears from friendship to romance, It's like, I already know all this stuff about you. I don't have to ask you to dig deeper.
Yeah.
Like, there's no additional questions. So it just makes it easier.
And then also it's inorganic the way the conversation comes up with them. She wants them to be deep, but they not like the conversation. It's like it's coming out of nowhere, and then. But I want you to go deeper in, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's how I felt when they were talking to each other. It was like she started the conversation off good, and then where he wouldn't budge on something, instead of asking another question or a deeper thought-provoking question, she just told him, hey, this is the point where I want you to tell me more. Like, don't do that in the conversation.
But she feels like she's going to have to pull it out of him. And I'm like, you need to put on your journalism hat.
Yeah.
And ask questions.
That's
like,
where
you need to be an interviewer.
That's where their room for improvement is in their communication, and it's not only solely on him, it's on her too.
Oh no, it's definitely on both of them. He's gonna have to give more, but she's gonna have to ask more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a person, like understanding what a person, like if a person doesn't talk much, and understanding, hey, this gets this person talking, or this person likes to talk about this, or something like that. It's like knowing if somebody's a liar, and if you talk to them long enough, usually they come out and tell the truth because they forget what they was talking about or forget what they were lying about. Same situation.
Like if you know he get chatty over a glass of wine that don't get the glasses cleaned out for 5 months.
Yeah, have a little glass of wine.
We need to bring home we need to bring home a bottle of wine once a week and get chatty.
Right. So if you like, that's just the communication thing. So. You know, I don't got nothing for them.
All right. So let's go to Morgan and Binh.
Morgan and Binh.
We opened up, and this is going to set the precedent for the rest of their interactions, is Binh peed in the toilet and didn't flush it. And Morgan was like, WTF.
That happened?
Yes.
I completely missed that.
Yeah, that was like the opening thing. It was like he peed in the toilet. And she was like, you peed and didn't flush? She was like, sometimes I don't flush. So he is definitely if it's brown, flush it down. If it's yellow, let it mellow.
Yeah.
He's definitely that person.
Was the toilet seat up or down?
I don't know. They didn't.
I think that's disgusting if he peed in the toilet and left the toilet seat up.
I don't know.
Well, I think it's disgusting to leave the toilet seat up anyway.
So they then get into him unplugging things after 4 p.m. and they can't have any lights on in the house before 6 p.m. Because he was like, basically, they be taxing. And I was just like, do you know how many chargers and things we just keep plugged into the wall?
Yeah.
I would like to do a study or have him do a study and see how drastically different his electric bill is if he just left stuff plugged in versus not. Like,
I would think things would be in a power surge and he just cut it off.
That might be what he does.
Mm-hmm.
But he would probably argue that the power surge is using power.
It's using power, yeah. But I mean, like, you know, I think for everything, especially some of that, you have to give a little bit. Explaining to her, like the thing about washing your clothes before 4 p.m. All right, that's different. You know, I never thought about that. But it's unconventional to unplug everything. Like that's something that's, you know, one of those extremes that you have that I think you need to kind of keep to, like not to infringe on her too much. You know what I'm saying? Because, we can't use the lights until after 6 o'clock. Like that's for the natural person, for everyday person, that's extreme.
What do you do when it's like raining?
You can't use your lights until after 6.
But like, you know, like
flashlights. They
you know
made
when
a
it
song.
gets dark.
Yeah.
And like it's an overcast and you just don't have another light in your house.
Yeah.
You don't turn on lights then. Like, I got questions.
I don't know, man. It's
maybe we need to unplug some things.
maybe I'm pretty sure we do, but maybe he just I don't know. I just thought that conversation was weird, and she's just like looking at him like, man, I don't want to do that.
Speaking of weird conversations, the conversations got even more weird when he asked her about her cat peeing. When the cat pees.
He was like, do we sync up? Or it's like, bruh.
It's a cat.
It's a cat, man. Just don't worry about it, man.
First off, this cat didn't want to be seen.
Right.
The cat was hiding. The cat comes out and the cat is like, what up, dude?
Mm-hmm.
And you asking about like
his pee schedule.
Like, does he have a pee schedule? He pee when he need to pee.
Dumbest thing about cats, because I don't personally like cats. I didn't think cats were male. I didn't think they had male cats.
So how did you think they reproduce?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't think about it, man. I know it's stupid, but hey.
All right.
True story. I never thought about a male cat.
Okay. I grew up with a grandmother that was a cat lady.
Yeah.
So we saw a lot of cats coming and going. I don't have a fear of cats. I don't dislike cats.
I don't have a fear of cats. I just don't really.
It was like, I don't dislike cats. I just have never wanted a cat.
Yeah.
But cats as pets are a lot easier to clean up after.
Yeah.
Unless you get one that's crazy and like they peeing on things.
Yeah.
Because I've known people who have had cats to get mad at them and like go pee in their shoe.
Really?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Imagine you just sticking your foot in that.
Yeah.
And cat pee.
And they sitting somewhere laughing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cat pee doesn't come out of things like it should.
Oh, it doesn't.
Like you got to wash it a few times. You think about your shoe. I'm just going to throw these away.
Yeah.
But that was at her house. Yeah. Did we go to his house?
I don't remember.
I don't have any notes for that. So next thing was Pastor Cal comes by and they talk about the challenge that they had on the honeymoon. And she said that she felt like she was stabbed in the back. One of the things that we talked about on our live last week was the different varying levels of being a nurse.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have my associates in nursing. I went back to get my bachelor's. Like,
it was a money thing, right?
I don't think she mentioned why.
Well, I mean, like, it's like that's the difference in the two.
Perhaps.
Outside of
I think
one is an associate, because she's a registered nurse.
Yeah, and a bachelor's is also a registered nurse.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily.
I thought you had to take a test to become a registered nurse.
You do.
And you do, like, the requirement to take that test is an associate's or a bachelor's.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
But you can also do, like I remember back in the day, they might still have it, but there was a hospital in Memphis that had a program for nurses where you become a nurse through this hospital's program. And at the ending, when you graduate, you get a job in this hospital system.
Oh, okay.
So it's not necessarily like at that hospital, but like they have doctor's offices and things like that that are associated with the hospital. And you can always apply for jobs through that program, but you actually become a nurse, like an RN at the ending of this program. Right. There's lots of levels to nursing because you got RNs, you got LPNs. Then you have people that have their masters in nursing. You got like family nurse practitioners. Like there's a whole bunch of, there's levels to this.
Yeah.
And she might be looking for jobs that are kind of like where I used to work, where we had a nurse on staff, but she had to have her bachelor's to do certain compliance things with the state. Yeah. And it opened her up for maybe $10 to $15 more an hour than someone that had an associate's. So it could be a money grab. It could be just her. I don't want to say money grab because that makes it seem like it's a negative connotation behind it, because it's not. But it may just be like her going towards the goal of maybe becoming a family nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
So she's like, I have to get my master's, but I can't jump from an associate's to a master's. I got to get a bachelor's first. So it depends on where her nursing goals are. I know we didn't put out a video last week about this, but
we recorded it though.
Yeah. Yep, we sure did. I think that it was like you talking about the situation with her checking the box that says she has a bachelor's instead of the box that says she has an associate's, and then explaining. I think that she knew that the time was going to come for her to get this bachelor's, and she's like, I got one class left, come hell or high water.
Yeah.
Unless I die. Like you said, unless I die.
Yeah.
I'm getting a bachelor's degree. And I think that his ignorance on the subject of nursing, because literally unless you work or deal with the field, you don't know. Because I learned a lot.
And that was my explanation on Jack and Glenn Live was, I mean, for a person that's not in the industry, CNAs look like nurses to them. You know, even though a CNA is just a nursing assistant. Not saying it's not a big deal, but you know, it's a nursing assistant. You're not a registered nurse, and I just think the whole his overreaction of it. Basically, his overreaction and her response to that overreaction has gotten them to a point to where they're like, it's hard for her to let him in. And everybody talks about, oh, I'm putting a wall up and blah this and blah that. It's like Pastor Kyle, what he encouraged her to do was let that wall go, because you have to, in marriage, you have to forgive.
You don't have to forget.
Yeah, you'll remember it, but you have to forgive. And when you do forgive, you have to let it go. Like there's no room for envy or anger, because the situations that you're going to be put in when it comes to life and dealing with this, all of that on top of you being mad or, you know, not forgiving a person or just not being 100% with your spouse, it causes more conflict in your life. Yeah. You know, just because you got a spouse and this is your partner, but you're not letting this partner 100% in, or you're keeping them at a distance on certain things. And it's like, how do you live like that?
The interesting thing is that she said she doesn't let go of things easily. And then she was like, I don't talk to my dad. Right. I'm like, Binh, I don't know if you stand a chance. She's like, I ain't talking to my dad. I definitely ain't got to deal with you. Right. And I mean,
it's crazy.
I'm not saying he got to tread lightly, but
man, tread lightly.
They do talk about being intimate, and Pastor Cal is like, you guys need to find a way to be intimate. He was like, I don't mean sex, but like do some cuddling, do some touching. What Ludacris say? Kissing, hugging, squeezing, touching. Yeah. Was that Ludacris?
I don't know.
It was somebody. And being like patted her on the back, and he was like, yeah, you definitely need a lesson in affection.
He said, I'm on YouTube. I was like, bruh, just do what feels right to you. Like, do stuff that you want people to do for you. Like, do the things that you want your wife to do for you, and eventually she'll get the picture. Eventually she'll start returning the favor.
Yeah.
You know,
I definitely think like that's very true, because I think about like I went to the store and I got you something. It doesn't have to be like a big deal, but like I remember us both being excited because we both bought home the exact same snack for each other. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was like wheat thins. Yeah. Like I went to the store and I got wheat thins, and you went to the store on your lunch and you got wheat thins, and you was like, I bought you something. And I was like, I got you something too.
Oh, that's funny.
But Yeah.
The fact that it was wheat thins makes it hilarious.
Yeah, it was literally like we were both excited about these wheat thins. And I'm like, oh, now I don't have to share this box with you. I got my own. I don't have anything else for them aside from the fact that being out, he got to figure this affection thing out if he feel like he got to YouTube it.
Yeah. Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do to figure it out. So
you should make a video for him, maybe.
Affection. Let's start with the Future song, Love and Affection. Love.
Krysten and Mitch.
His tub was so dirty. God.
He called his house Shay Mitch, which I thought was really funny.
Shay Mitch.
Shay Mitch had a stove and a shower that were dirty.
And he knew she was coming.
Yep. She was like, how often do you cook in here? And he was like, a lot. And she was like, oh.
But just wipe it down, man. Godly, man. That's disgusting.
Is wiping down your stove bad for the environment? Like, I'm just trying to figure it out. He was like, he waters his plants in the tub. And I was thinking, okay, did you water your plants before she got there? And you're like explaining it, but I was like, nah, that dirt's been there.
Yeah.
That's not fresh.
It's just
out the pot dirt.
Right. It's like, dude, you need to clean your tub. Period.
I wonder, does he wash his feet?
Yeah, he probably does. I don't know.
No, because that was like an article a few
people don't wash
their feet. Like people don't wash their legs and feet.
Why?
It was literally like a social media frenzy. Not on your part of social media, obviously.
Obviously not on my
part. But they were like, people don't wash their legs and feet. And I was just like, I got to thinking about that. I was like, does he wash his feet? Because if he don't wash his feet, then he got plant dirt on his feet. Even if his body's clean.
Be like, man, that man's feet gotta stink.
Right. And then his feet be in the bed and Mitch shows her his water fluoride filtration system. And she was just like, okay.
Like, I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but like, I know she's looking at it like, this is my life now. Great. Just great. She says she's not going back to his place.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then they get to her house and she has a studio complete with a dog named Luna. She starts off by telling him, you're going to need these. She has like this basket of things. It includes a lint brush, cat treats. I mean, not cat treats, dog treats. I
was like, cat treats.
I went back to Binh and Morgan with the cat, but dog treats and what else did she have? Oh, something to clean Luna's wrinkle.
Yeah.
And I was like, you said Luna's wrinkle, like Luna don't have more than one wrinkle. Which wrinkle are we cleaning? She was like, the one on the nose. And I'm like, I felt like Mitch in that moment, like I'm, again, okay with animals. However, I'm not cleaning your dog's wrinkle.
Mitch was looking at that dog like his breathing.
Right. She's like, Luna has a lot of issues.
But the breathing, though, is it okay? He looked real concerned. He didn't want to touch the dog. He looked real concerned about the dog.
If that dog was breathing like he said the dog was breathing, I wouldn't want to touch that dog either, because I would be like, the dog dies. It's my fault because I touched your frantically breathing dog. Trying to wipe her nose.
They they made it to the bubble bath. And Mitch,
did we talk about the coupons?
That's how we got to the coupons, right? The bubble bath was the coupons.
What's the coupons?
I couldn't remember how they,
she gave him
cooked for her.
Yeah, she gave him a jar of coupons. I'm sorry, I'm reading through the notes. Oh, she gave him a thank you card after they had dinner together, and with the thank you card was a jar of coupons, and one of the coupons expired tonight, which was a free bubble bath, and she was basically like, "We doing it."
Yeah.
And there now you can start back up with
and
where
they
you
did
were.
it in the bubble bath, and
I hope it was after the bubble bath and not in the bubble bath.
Probably after.
I hope.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so they talked to Pastor Cal. And they was like, yeah, we consummated our marriage. And Pastor Cal was like, oh, yay. It's like, all right, Pastor Cal.
Pastor Cal's like, y'all had sex face is funny. Every time.
Right.
He's always like, oh my goodness, yes. I love to hear married people having sex.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
They did talk about Mitch's commitment issues and how they seeped into the honeymoon. And they've decided that they aren't making plans beyond 8 weeks. They're kind of like, oh, we'll talk about next week. They're taking it easy. He doesn't want to feel pressured because he's afraid of losing himself in the expectations of others,
and
which I get.
I was going to say, when he said that, I was like, it's easy to lose yourself, but you don't lose yourself by continuing to be yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm saying. I get not wanting to lose yourself in the expectation of others. I don't get his approach to it.
Yeah.
Just needs to clarify that.
I still think this is a bucket list thing for him, and he's setting Krysten up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just Mitch is truly overthinking it.
Mm-hmm.
And stop. Essentially, like, stop overthinking it.
Right.
Just go with it, like, do the things that, she expresses that she wants to do and participate. Be an active participant in your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That's a way for you not to lose yourself.
Right. They did a really quick breeze over money and kids.
Yeah. Because they whisper to each other what each other makes. Yeah. And she makes more.
He was like, she makes double what I make, and that's okay. I'm cool with it. He was like, essentially, he's never thought that he was going to be the breadwinner of a marriage because of his income.
And it's like, I find it interesting because she was more so concerned about the person being passionate about what they're doing, so liking what they do.
And I think that goes back to the last fiance. He was sleeping on somebody's couch.
Yeah.
Which
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if he didn't like what he was doing, hated his job, she always had to hear him complain about it. Then okay, I get it. Mm-hmm. Like what you do. It doesn't matter what
it is.
Because if I have to hear about how much you hate it, that's gonna drive me crazy. So like what you do and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Which is a good mindset to have when it comes to it, because you can always get another position making more money, but it's the liking what you do part that is the hard part, because literally
it's so easy to get into a job that you don't like. Or
take you being an accountant. You can do accounting anywhere,
right,
but you have to like the place that you're doing the accounting, because the accounting work you find joy in, but it's the processes
and
the job itself, like the company that you're working for, can be the hindrance.
Yeah.
So if you like what you do, you can always find a way to find joy in it.
Right.
They did talk about kids. He was like, we can have kids in a few years. I am in my 40s. And she was like, we can start in a year and I would be okay with that. So it seems like they're able to have negotiations on a kid time frame. Yeah. So like the two biggest issues, well, I won't say biggest, but two issues of money and kids, they seem to be okay with. Pastor Cal did tell them, and I put this in quotations, like direct quote, love and fear can't coexist. So basically, you don't need to fear losing yourself in this relationship, because you won't be able to fully love, because you can't love and fear at the same time.
You're still trying to protect something that in order for you to grow, you have to let it go.
And I actually was talking to you about this the other night with another podcast that I was listening to, where the husband, the wife was like, you know, I wouldn't be worried if you stop asking me about having sex. She was like, I know where you are most of the time, and I'm just not sitting around thinking that you're going to cheat on me. And he was like, so you would be okay with me not asking for sex? She was like, are you upset that I'm secure enough in this relationship that I'm like not at a high level of concern that you're going to cheat on me? She was like, we got other issues if that's the case. And I was like, you kind of do, because if you're always in a fear that XYZ is going to happen, there's something that's making this fear be valid. So you need to figure out why you have that fear. And I was like, the only thing that I'd be like is make sure he come home. Like, and that's not up to you. That's the world circumstances. Right. But the other stuff, don't sweat the small stuff.
That's funny, man. I don't have nothing else for them.
He tells them that they'll likely be they'll be in love before they realize it, and they just need to not be afraid to process those feelings. So that was it for them. And then we got just one last couple, Justin and Alexis. This is the dog bite heard around the world. So
they was so irresponsible with that.
I'm starting at the beginning.
Okay, go ahead.
They come into the apartment and they say it feels like home. They're just missing their dogs. So they go to Alexis's apartment first and, look around. Justin says her closet is overwhelming and it makes him feel claustrophobic. She showed him the vagina that they were talking about in her...
at the wedding?
Yeah, at the wedding in the... Let me tell you about
what was that made of?
I think it was clay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. She has a lot of artwork. Apparently, she paints.
Yeah.
And she hangs up her paintings in the house, which I think is pretty cool. I wish I had gotten the artistic gene from my grandfather. I did not. Miss me. They go to Justin's apartment, and he has a studio apartment. Which I was like, man, this a big guy in a small space. Yeah. She was like, give me a tour. I'm like, girl, you looking at it.
Do a 360.
Like literally, the whole thing is right here. She complained that his apartment was on a flight path. I was like, number one, you would never live here anyway. Yeah. It's too small for you.
Yeah. He said every 3 minutes.
Yeah. Then she was like, are you serious? He was like, I don't know. It's always a plane.
Yeah.
Which, if you live by the airport, duh.
Yeah, right. It's like a smoke detector needing a battery. After a while, the people that like live there don't notice it, but I do.
Oh my God. Tommy has actually like been on the phone with my mom. Is like, Mom, you need some batteries. Right. She was like, I don't hear nothing. And he's like, I do. So they pack up the cat Baloo and Maya the dog and take them to the new apartment. Mr. Newton is also there at the new apartment.
That's Alexis's dog.
Mm-hmm. And
that's her child, as she says.
Yes.
Quote, unquote.
I get it, but dogs are not kids. You can leave them at home by themselves.
Yeah.
Like, we got to stop that. You can feel like this is your baby.
I mean, like, for some people, it's what they have.
No, it's
the being that they take care of.
It's still your dog.
It's still their dog.
And that's the point I'm making, is that it's still a dog.
Yeah.
Like, let's not act like you gave birth to a baby. It's a dog.
Yeah.
And I was a person who was like attached to my dog, but it was still a dog.
Did you let your dog sleep in your bed?
Yeah.
You did?
Mm-hmm. He could sleep with me.
Yeah, Rondo could sleep at the bottom.
I mean, he couldn't like be in my face on my pillow or anything. It used to be
so funny, man. He'll wake up and want to go outside. So he'll start like nudging me at my feet if I don't move. Mm-hmm. He'll come up, nudge me in the face. He was like, hey.
Bruh, gotta go.
Gotta go outside now.
But yeah, that's kind of like, I don't want to sleep with my kids either, but They can sleep with me if they need to.
Yeah.
But they introduce the dogs to each other. Maya growls, shows some teeth. So Maya's like, Newton.
And the whole time, Justin and Alexis were like, I was like, I know they see this. I know they hear this.
They had to have seen it because the camera crew caught it.
Right. And I was like, y'all, like, you hear because he was on a leash. Maya. Okay. She was on a leash. Mm-hmm. And you can feel a dog when they're like...
When they like tense up to growl and attack.
Yeah. And him being so nonchalant with it, like, because the first thing it is, he knew that Maya is a bit aggressive around other
and we
dogs.
Found out later that Maya been in some fights.
Yeah. You know?
I was like,
so that
Maya gotta go to training.
Right. That being the first issue, he knew like his dog's history around other dogs. He also saw his dog being aggressive around that little bitty dog. Mm-hmm. Why are you not watching this dog? Why is it not the first thing you say is, Alexis, get your dog?
Let's put your dog in the crate.
Or we'll put Maya up. Mm-hmm. Or something. Let me put Maya up or something like that. We have to figure this out. You know, because the thing is, watch him.
I've never had to do a dog introduction.
Me and Jay, well, it was crazy because Jay got Mello, and then later that day I got Rondo, and they, like, them being puppies, Mello was so much smaller than Rondo.
Mello was never going to get big.
At all. At all.
Mello was a Chihuahua?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, they would play with each other. Mm-hmm. And their play seemed playful because both of them were puppies. Mm-hmm. But as they got bigger, their play, we had to start watching their play. Like, they were good with each other, you know, by the time they got a little bit bigger. But we had to watch their play because Rondo was so much bigger than Mello, you know, and we didn't want him to hurt him. Mm-hmm. But they wouldn't, if they growled at each other, hey, y'all cut it out, you know, and stuff like that.
Your brothers.
Right. Y'all cut it out, man.
Actually, they're cousins.
Yeah. But it was so funny, man. And I'm going to ask Jay about this. They would run around the house and Mello would run under the couch. And Rondo couldn't fit under the couch. So he'll be at the thing and Mello just be punching him in the nose. Oh, man. But that's the thing. It's like you watch these dogs and you see how they're reacting to each other until they get to know each other or something like that. Like for their case, or what I would have did in their case, I would have saw that. I would have been like, okay, let me figure out what we need to do to get these dogs to interact with each other.
I wouldn't have wanted to introduce them in the apartment. Like that felt like more of a let's go out to a park type thing.
But we obviously like, I just don't know the best way to introduce dogs to each other.
I don't either. We would have been Googling that on the honeymoon.
Oh, yeah.
I know you got a dog and I got a dog, especially if I know that my dog can be a little aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's look this up.
Man, this man took okay. So the dog, like they're letting the dogs just roam free. Justin's dog was still on a leash. Mm-hmm. Alexis's dog was not.
Alexis was like, that's my baby. My baby ain't going on no leash.
And so Mr. Newton came by strolling.
I don't know if his name is Mr. Newton or just Newton.
I don't know. But he came by just strolling and got attacked. Mm-hmm. He ain't do nothing. He ain't provoked his dog or anything.
His presence.
Yeah. I was like, dang.
No, that was the provoking part, was his presence.
He's here.
Maya was like, nope, not in my house.
Right.
My daddy said, this is my new house. Who are you?
But like that happened and she like was very calm and like getting him to the vet and stuff like that. There
was no need to panic at that point.
The one thing that I looked at Justin and was like, bro, you have to stop. He started crying. Like, it's like, I get it. You know, I get it. You're kind-hearted. Mm-hmm. You really want this to work and stuff like that. But every time something goes wrong, you can't cry.
There's no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball. You know, that's from A League of Their Own.
I know. I never saw that movie.
You need to watch the movie.
Oh, but guys, my friend is in the TV series.
Shout out to her.
A League of Their Own. So if you guys have watched it, you're supporting one of my friends.
Yeah, please go watch it. It's a great series on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, so she gets upset, and Justin gets upset because she doesn't want him to go with her to the vet. And I get it. She's like, it's your fault. Mm-hmm. No, you can't go. Mr. Newton has to get a cone to basically keep from scratching his eye because he had to get stitches. Yeah. According to Krysten, he has made a full recovery. Mm-hmm. She did mention that on the after party. And Justin went and dropped Maya off at a 2-week, I think, training camp.
Maya went to jail. That was a pound. Maya went to a pound.
Maya's hopefully going to come back home better than she went in. Well, she not going to come back home.
Right.
It sucks to think about losing your dog for a relationship.
It sucks to think about losing your dog for a relationship that there's a strong possibility that you're not going to be in this relationship after 8 weeks.
Right. And so I can't make the rash decision of getting rid of my dog.
Yeah.
So it's like, but then you don't want your dog to be away for 8 weeks because if this don't work out, I want my dog back. Right. And I want the dog that I had back, not the dog that has adapted to this newfound environment.
Right. Because
it's 2 different dogs. Yeah. I gotta basically get my dog back when I get my dog back.
Exactly.
Pastor Cal comes over. They start off talking about the dogs, and she says that he didn't tell her that Maya had been in fights before, and she felt like she was blindsided. She said she felt like he was lying, and it makes her want to run. Alexis always wants to run. I think that she's going to use everything as a reason to run. Yeah. Because that's her MO. That's what she does.
Like, the thing is, she's still trying to be convinced to be with this guy. Mm-hmm. She's saying it's fate that got them here. Mm-hmm. But it's still a sense of, I want to be convinced.
Right.
Like, the things that he didn't change overnight.
Right.
That was annoying, but, you know, it is what it is on that.
Right. Justin starts crying because he says he should have paid attention to the signs of Maya snapping. And she says she needs him to overshare with her going forward. He says that he needs another chance with Maya. And he says it won't be easy to give her up. And she says if he doesn't do it, she's out. So that's already an issue because we make this agreement that I'm going to go get my dog trained, right? Mm-hmm. And if things don't work out with the training, then we'll talk about getting rid of my dog. And she's like, your dog gotta go.
Yeah. It's
even though we've agreed to training, seeing how it goes. Yeah. And then giving up the dog, and you're like, bump all that. Dog ain't coming back over here.
Yeah. Which I get it.
I get it. However,
that puts him in a predicament.
However, you lied. Yeah. Because if we have an agreement, and you renege on that agreement, we got issues.
Them 2 books. No, is it 4 or 2 or 4?
I don't know. I don't play spades, especially not with black people. Y'all get really aggressive. My family, that's the black people that I know, and the ones from Clement's basement.
Oh man,
nope.
That's funny.
Not playing spades with y'all.
That's funny.
But yeah, I feel like, you know, that was a lie, and she should have said her truth because she's calling him a liar for omitting things about Maya being in fights, she needs to also tell the truth because she has omitted that she don't want Maya back at the house.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it for this week's episode.
Yep.
I'm happy that we're off the honeymoon now. And real life came hard and fast for Justin and Alexis.
It did.
I'm interested to see how these other couples are going. I'm especially interested to see if Nate is going to be able to adapt to Stacia and all of her things.
I'm interested to see Morgan and Binh and their interaction.
That too. Because Morgan looks like on the inside, she wants to scream, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But she's like, we're on TV. He's cute.
Yeah.
I'm going to work this out. Or no, what did she say? He's hot.
He's hot.
I'm going to work this out.
Hot.
Anywho, do you have a question? I don't have a question.
I don't. Did Justin overlook the, like, obviously he did. That ain't a good question. I don't know. I don't have one.
Y'all know what? Actually, I don't think YouTube will let us do it, but it might. Send me your favorite channel of people staging their homes.
That's hilarious.
Like Stacia did. I enjoy watching videos of people decorating and things like that.
I'm gonna do one.
So give me channel names for me to look into. I'm gonna
do a video of staging the home.
I'm gonna do a video cleaning out the linen closet.
They do that too?
Yep. Organizing.
Yeah.
Remember that one girl that I watched that literally all she does is cleans up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna do a video of me vacuuming.
You should. People really watch those and they do ASMR.
Vacuum is really it's like relaxing to me. I like vacuum.
You know, I watched that one guy who has a carpet cleaning business. Yeah. Like he vacuums and then they like clean the rugs and like I like watching him do rug videos more than cleaning actual carpet.
Yeah. The crazy part, and we're gonna leave after this. After I say this, but the chiropractor videos that I watch, it's not the bones cracking; it's the rubbing that they do.
You imagine yourself being rubbed. That's what the question is. Don't just share me the channels. Tell me what your like.
What's your weird
YouTube like thing? Like I watch people cutting grass and cleaning rugs.
I watch pimple popping.
My mom watches pimple popping too.
I was like, ew.
So tell us what your weird YouTube thing is. And if you have a favorite channel that does whatever it is, share that too. Yeah. I'm always into looking.
Also, share our channel to other people as well.
Oh, yeah. And today, like when we're recording this, because this is late, August 21st is our anniversary. Yeah. So married for 6 years today.
6 years. High five. High six. One more.
Remember I used to tell Lily, give me a low one.
Yeah. And also we're going to talk about our 6 years together on the podcast Wednesday. So check the podcast out on Wednesday.
And also last week's episode with Jack and Glenn.
Yep.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
We tried to go live, but hey, it's been a struggle with these kids. So we're still doing.
Yeah, that's why this one was with us at the beginning. He was very, very sleepy and just would not clunk out. So thankfully he has fallen asleep since we've been recording.
And it's funny, the big one just comes and smiles in front of the camera and says, Mommy. She never says dad.
Nope.
Like on the camera, but like, anyway. All right, guys. I'm out.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.